This week's edition of College Sports Weekly takes us to Ruston, Louisiana, to visit one of the biggest up-and-coming young coaches in college tennis today. We'll also visit with an ex-tennis alum who is also one of the most successful business people in the United States. We'll explore the upgrade in athletic facilities and examine the academic success Louisiana Tech has had. Chad Camper is a native of Ohio, but has adjusted extremely well to life in Louisiana and has quickly elevated Louisiana Tech's tennis program to new heights. So Chad, how does a guy from Lima, Ohio end up in Ruston, Louisiana?
You know, I started coaching at the age of 30 and told my wife, tennis is a vehicle. It takes you places that you don't really know where you're going, but you're usually happy when you get there. And I was coaching 3.5 years at Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio, and got the opportunity to be the head coach here at Louisiana Tech and had to take it. Came here and the women really bought into the program right away and the vision I had for the program, and I've had a lot of success, sometimes a little too fast, but a lot more ups and downs. I'm really grateful.
What's been your biggest surprise so far getting here?
Probably just the beautiful weather. I mean, it's just rarely cold here, and just being able to play outside in January and February. I'm from Ohio, it's much colder, and but also the people are just so nice. Everyone's willing to help, trying to help, and helping you organize. And also, I've played college tennis for 4 years, and the amount of people at our matches, Tony, we're getting 60, 70 people, and just friends of the women on the team, people that love tennis around the area. So first home match, I didn't know what to expect, and we got 60, 70 people. I was impressed.
Good. Be ready, Haley. Be ready.
One motivational tactic that Coach Camper has used is creating an atmosphere where his players enjoy their time together and have fun.
I love it. If I could have the opportunity to make a decision again, I would choose the Tech again. So I really like the coach, girls here, and we are really close as a team, almost like as sisters.
They just have an amazing amount of energy and dedication, not just to the program, but to each other. And I really feed off that. I think sometimes players feel that coach is always into it 100% every single day. And even days when, we've had a tough week, or I've had a tough week, to come out there and they're energetic, ready to go, it motivates me.
How would you describe Coach Camper as a coach?
I would say he's a great coach. He knows what he's talking about. He knows about tactics, and I like the way he coaches, because all my coaches that I've had before, I've never had that pressure put on, and that's how I play better. I know other people play different if there's someone there pushing them, but as I said, I'm really independent, and I know that I need to do stuff on my own. So I think that he's a really good coach. He cares about us, and he just wants us to be better.
The coach got here, and he was like, all right, we got to change some things. So he just wanted me to come to the net and work the point to come to the net. And that's what I started doing. And first match that he saw us playing, it was nothing like that. In the second match, it was right on the next day after he talked to me. And that day, I already started coming more to the net. I already started to change that. And swinging volleys and volleys nowadays are way more familiar to me.
When you get in here, you've got a lot of hurdles. What
Yeah.
are some of the first things that you did to get the program going?
Well, the first day of practice, you're always really nervous seeing the players play, and for them to believe in me as a coach, and I let them know I don't have all the answers, and letting them know I don't have all the answers, but we're working together, and I made mistakes and we moved on, and they made mistakes and we moved on. And I think one of the best things for the program was we actually lost our first match, and we learned so much from it. In my first season, we lost the first match, and then we won 11 straight matches. And I think the women really came in, buying into the program, teaching them better doubles. And I think one thing I pride myself in is I coach my players to win more than one way. I think so much, and you know this, so much of junior tennis is I'll play my game, you play your game, let's see who wins. And college tennis is adjustments, making changes. So now this is my third season here at Louisiana Tech, and I'm really proud that a lot of the women that have been here with me the whole time can win more than one way, which I think makes us very dangerous.
Chad is extremely excited about his current team after their showing earlier this month in the Southern Regional at Auburn, Alabama. So you mentioned earlier that you've learned a lot through your college experience. What will you take away the most?
I think, as we said before, like, this is the best time of our lives, and I learned how to be on a team, which was something new. Something I really learned was time managing. Managing time between school and practice and workouts and traveling, which is, I guess, one of the keys for college tennis or any college sport. You really gotta manage your time.
I wasn't used to all this college, living by myself, laundry, like I had no idea how to do laundry. But now I'm more mature. I mean, I know how to manage my time, and I've learned so much. Like, I see tennis differently, you know?
For student athletes that are watching this show, really in any sport, what's your sell as to why you should come and be a member of Louisiana Tech Athletics?
That we are so close to each other, that we are really like a family, you know? For example, we go to support our volleyball team or soccer team, they come for our match, and all the university is really nice, people are really nice, and I think that's really important. Sometimes it's not about a place where you are, but it's about the people.
Thanks to over 1,200 Louisiana Tech Athletic Club members, we are the home of legends. We are where champions are made. Join LATech and become a part of building tomorrow's champions today. We are LATech.
Louisiana Tech University, standing solid, proud of our tradition rooted in 12 principles that have guided students, faculty, and our alumni for more than 120 years. As we focus on the future, we are inspired by the accomplishments of our past, for we know that's where our best examples lie. Come be a part of the tradition, Louisiana Tech University.
Joel Trammell may be considered one of the greatest tennis players to ever don the red and blue at Louisiana Tech. So Joel, what kind of memories do you have being back on campus here at Louisiana Tech after all these years?
Yeah, I mean, it does bring back a lot of memories driving around, seeing the names on the building, many of whom I have met along the way. My dad worked in that building right there, Bogart Hall, which was the engineering building for many years, so I had an office there for many years, and so it's home. You know, I sat in the football stands every Saturday. There was a home game for many years, and you know, could walk home from here, and my dad was a professor here, and so it really does have the sense of home. You know, certainly there was no tennis academy or group of kids. You know, from when I was growing up, there was, you know, we always had to go to Monroe or Shreveport to find a tournament or play against people. And so, you know, I never really trained for tennis. Basketball was really my love, and if I had grown up to be 6'4" with the ability to jump, I'd have probably tried to play college basketball, but that wasn't my skill set. I realized in high school, and therefore I, you know, played tennis. When I got to Tech, there was a coaching change. I actually signed with one coach, and then before I started at Tech, there was a new coach brought on, so there was a little bit of a lag there, and so my freshman year we were, I would say, mediocre, but new coach recruited well, and sophomore year we brought in a lot of new talent. And by my junior year, we were pretty successful and went something like 26-5 or something in dual matches my junior year.
Joel was a three-time starter at Louisiana Tech and capped off his college career by defeating the #1 doubles team in the country, playing against the University of Alabama.
We always did an SEC swing every year where we'd drive through, go Mississippi, Alabama, Auburn. And this year Alabama was our last match. And so we go to line up, and we're playing against a team that's 17-0, #1 in the country in the rankings. And I remember distinctly, we get down a break in the first set, and I turn to my partner and say, "This isn't the way I want my college career to end, you know. I mean, we need to do something." And we got hot and, you know, managed to win in straight sets and give them their only loss for the dual season.
Joel has translated his prowess on the tennis court and become an extremely successful businessman, starting several businesses and generating millions of dollars.
I had met a couple of very interesting people in Ruston that were what we would now call entrepreneurs. Nobody used the word entrepreneur in those days. They were just small business people. But I'd met them in high school, and they really had a profound impact on me. This idea that you could start something yourself and use your own wits and abilities to kind of build a business was not a concept I saw with my father, and most of the people in Ruston were somehow associated with the university. And so they really opened my eyes to that. And so I looked at going to get an MBA, which would kind of be the standard career path for somebody in business. At that time, they wanted you to take 60 hours of undergraduate business before they would let you into the MBA program. And so as an arrogant engineer, I said, well, heck, if they're not going to let me into the program, I'll just start a business and see how it goes. And so I did at 25 while still in the Navy. Came up with an idea, found a partner, and started my first business. One of the challenges you have when you go down the entrepreneurial path is you kind of make yourself unqualified to do anything else. Nobody, you know, if you show people a resume and all you've been CEO of your own business, they don't know what to do with you. You know, usually they already have a CEO. And so I tell people, you got to be careful. A lot of the young kids want to go down the entrepreneurial path, and I think it's great. But it is kind of a commitment because you kind of get stuck in that path, and so you better figure out a way to make it work. And you know, fortunately enough, I was able to develop some businesses that had some, significant wins.
So you have a very interesting story about this building. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I remember as a kid watching cartoons, and there was a cartoon character, Spider-Man. And growing up in Ruston, Louisiana, it seemed Spider-Man's only redeeming character was he could swing between tall buildings, right? And in Ruston, we didn't have any tall buildings over about 3 stories. And I remember as a young kid, they built this building behind us called Wiley Tower. And I remember walking right here one day with my dad and saying, Wiley Tower, who are these Wiley people? And he said, oh, those are 2 brothers from Dallas that formed a computer company, software company, and made a lot of money and gave some money to Tech to build what is now Wiley Tower, the by far tallest building in the town. And that was the first hint that, hey, maybe a kid from Ruston, Louisiana could go build a software company and be successful. And so that was certainly formative in my early years.
Joel consistently comes back to Louisiana Tech and supports his alma mater. And he's also able to offer business and life advice to current Louisiana Tech tennis players.
I really enjoy, learning from Joel, just not from his accomplishments, in tennis here at Louisiana Tech, but also, in the business world. And I think a lot of players come to college tennis and they think just about the college tennis part. They start becoming juniors and seniors, and they start thinking about what they're going to do after college. And it's fun to see that throughout their years, as they grow up to be, young ladies, and they start to look for people like that and people that have done something successful. How have they done it? And that's what college is. We're learning, we're learning how to be, young ladies or young men. And I think just someone like a Joel Trammell is just such an inspiration.
I think, when you're at Louisiana Tech, it's easy to be impressed by the fact that there are other programs that are bigger and have a bigger name, and maybe you're not sure where you fit into the big picture. But I think, there are numerous Tech athletes and alumni that have shown that if you have the desire and you have the talent, you can compete at all levels in the world. And so, I would say don't sell yourself short. Don't believe just because you went to a small school in northern Louisiana you can't compete with anybody.
Thanks to over 1,200 Louisiana Tech Athletic Club members, we are the home of legends. We are where champions are made. Join LATech and become a part of building tomorrow's champions today. We are LATech.
Louisiana Tech University, standing solid, proud of our tradition rooted in 12 principles that have guided students, faculty, and our alumni for more than 120 years. As we focus on the future, we are inspired by the accomplishments of our past, for we know that's where our best examples lie. Come be a part of the tradition, Louisiana Tech University.
Louisiana Tech Athletics has had a long list of great athletes who have come through the athletic program, including such names as Terry Bradshaw, Carl Malone, Kim Mulkey, and P.J. Brown.
Yeah, a lot of great athletes that have come through here at Louisiana Tech, and one of the advantages of being in a small town with the university here is you ran into a lot of these people. So I can remember, Mike Barber here, one of the great tight ends in the NFL. I remember playing tennis against him when I was about 10 years old, and he was at Louisiana Tech.
When Tommy McClellan was hired at Louisiana Tech, he was the youngest Division I athletic director in the country. What was your attraction to Louisiana Tech?
It's a much larger program. It's on a larger scale. It's a nationally recognized brand, and we've just done some tremendous things. Academically, it's a Tier 1 institution. So I think that, when you look at it as a whole, Louisiana Tech, where they were in Conference USA, FBS, it was a natural step for me and an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So that was, certainly the attraction. And plus, being from the state of Louisiana and only having lived outside the state for 10 months, I'm a Louisiana guy. And I felt like, hey, a lot of times in this business, you don't get to choose your geographical region, as you try to improve your profession and move up the ladder, if you will. But I was very fortunate to have gone to school in Louisiana, get my first job in Louisiana, and then take that next step in the same state as well.
Tommy played football at Northwestern State before moving on to become athletic director at McNeese State. When did you decide you wanted to take that path and go into athletic administration?
Well, it was something as a former student athlete, at Northwestern State and playing football and throwing the javelin. Obviously, I've had a passion for sports for a long time, but being on campus there, I recognized, that this was a career that I could have and that I could be a part of. And so it was, my time at Northwestern State that allowed me to kind of see that, and then having some experience at the Southland Conference office continued to reinforce my desire to be in college athletics. And was very fortunate to get a job at McNeese as an assistant there at McNeese early on in my career, and then had the opportunity to be named interim athletic director and then ultimately athletic director at McNeese during that time.
Tommy has a vision of Louisiana Tech competing at the highest level and has helped raise money for a $20 million upgrade of its football facility.
We've taken on the Davison Athletic Complex, which we're in right now. It's a 70,000 square foot multi-purpose complex for us. Football's housed out of here, but other sports also use the weight room space and some of the meeting space up here. It's really been great for us. It's generated revenue off the club level that we're in right now, which is crucial to us going forward.
In your short tenure here, you've overseen some really good improvements. Let's talk a little bit about what you've done recently with the football.
Again, Conference USA being a big part of that. Skip Holtz being our new coach has really helped help build this program towards the future. And what I mean by that is he's really taking a holistic approach in recruiting. He went from signing about half of his class his first year with JUCOs because he had to. The second year, I think he signed 7, and then this past year he didn't sign any. Doesn't mean that we won't sign junior college kids in the future, but as you look at how we want to build this program, we've got to build it with high school kids, and he's done that. So I think it starts with the players. But as we look at facilities, the building we're in today, those are all continuations of a step-by-step process of how we build our program. Certainly not just for football, but for all sports. And so it's not only capital, it's not only investing in the budgets and those things, but having a coach that understands that, hey, there's great talent around us, and let's start from the bottom up.
In 2013, Louisiana Tech moved to Conference USA, which is a big upgrade for you guys. Talk a little bit about the need for improvement in facilities to compete with the other competitors.
Sure, absolutely. So we took a big step up in competition. So, we love it geographically. Our furthest opponent in Conference USA is closer than our closest opponent in the WAC. So that's great for us, but at the same time, it's a lot stiffer competition. So we've got to have better facilities to keep up, to recruit better players, to develop better athletes while they're here. It's not just about getting the 17, 18-year-olds on campus. It's about making them better young men and women while they're here. So facilities are crucial to that.
There's a lot of history here, but I think there's also a brighter future. And so as we look at what we're trying to do, we want to use the past to help shape our future. And as we look at our past, it's pretty bright and pretty proud. So I think our future is also extremely bright.
It sounds like you have numerous projects in the works right now. How do people get in touch with you to donate to Louisiana Tech Athletics?
Sure, they can go to LATechAlumni.org. Really the most important thing we need right now is gifts to LTAC, or Louisiana Tech Athletic Club. Those are unrestricted dollars to the athletic department. We did a great job last year, and Tyson and our staff did a phenomenal job of raising that from $800,000 in the previous year to about $1.3 million last year.
Thanks to over 1,200 Louisiana Tech Athletic Club members, we are the home of legends. We are where champions are made. Join LTAC and become a part of building tomorrow's champions today. We are LATech.
Louisiana Tech University, standing solid, proud of our tradition rooted in 12 principles that have guided students, faculty, and our alumni for more than 120 years. As we focus on the future, we are inspired by the accomplishments of our past, for we know that's where our best examples lie. Come be a part of the tradition, Louisiana Tech University.
According to U.S. News and World Report 2016 Best Colleges, Louisiana Tech has maintained a Tier 1 status among national universities. In doing research in Louisiana Tech academics, I'm amazed at just how many successful programs you guys have.
Yeah, we do. We have certainly some areas of excellence. We have an outstanding student body, and you couple that with the type of faculty we're able to recruit and keep here at the university on all levels. Our academic programs are very strong.
One factor that sets Louisiana Tech apart from other universities is that the average student leaves Louisiana Tech with less debt than any other public institution in the nation, making Louisiana Tech #1 in this category.
We're very proud of that statistic. That's all public institutions in the country, so not only quality academic programs, but we're at the right price point as well. You're going to see more collaboration between our colleges and some really energized new curriculum. There's a plan. Strategic growth is a part of that. So to get to 15,000 total students is one of our strategic priorities.
The growth of Louisiana Tech has been consistent, with enrollment improving every year and also maintaining one of the largest universities in the state of Louisiana.
You certainly have to have dedicated faculty and staff, right? There's a number of metrics that they look at, the volume of research that's produced here, quality of the student body and programs, all play a part as U.S. News studies our university and those that are around the nation. So we're proud of that notation, and we're continuing to grow in that direction.
Through its determination, dedication, and vision, Louisiana Tech continues to prove that it is an up-and-coming university with a very bright future.
Thanks to over 1,200 Louisiana Tech Athletic Club members, we are the home of legends. We are where champions are made. Join LATech and become a part of building tomorrow's champions today. We are LATech.
Louisiana Tech University, standing solid, proud of our tradition rooted in 12 principles that have guided students, faculty, and our alumni for more than 120 years. As we focus on the future, we are inspired by the accomplishments of our past, for we know that's where our best examples lie. Come be a part of the tradition, Louisiana Tech University.